News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.
And top of the week to you, this is Newsline, live as always from the News First studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. Yesterday was 10 years into a significant attack on the media. And we have some coverage just to go back to what it was then and what it is now.
This is a step towards the suppression of media in this country. Now they are trying to get rid of Sirasa. It cannot be done. They were unable to take out this lamp. Everyone in this country is dedicated towards protecting this lamp.
Ranil Wickremesinghe got it absolutely right. You simply cannot put out this lamp. Sirasa, Team News First is here forever and a day. Let's listen to what else was there in that clip yesterday.
January 6th, 2009. It was work as usual for the staff at MTV MBC Media Network studio complex in Depanama. At about 2:10 a.m., a group of armed thugs broke into the premises. The attackers first took the security officers hostage and then proceeded to head towards their primary target, a state-of-the-art MCR, considered to be one of the best in South Asia and commissioned just a few weeks before. The MCR was obliterated by a Claymore bomb that was set off by the perpetrators, and this fact was confirmed by the government analyst's report. However, perhaps due to an unseen force of nature, only half the claymore had exploded. Whilst most of the equipment was reduced to ashes, the station was able to be back on air within a few hours due to the determination and ingenuity of the engineers, technicians and staff. There is no doubt that despite the many attempts made to intimidate this network, we were able to stand steadfast and fearless because of the support of the people.
MTV MBC studio complex in Depanama was attacked by an armed gang this morning.
We must rise against this act of terror. This is not the first time this has happened, and this will most certainly not be the last. We must face this situation with strength.
වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒ වුණත් අපි අවධානයෙන් මේ තත්ත්වයට මුහුණ දීමට සූදානම් මාධ්‍ය ආයතන සියලු දෙනා එක්මුතු වී මේකට මුහුණ දීමට සූදානම් විය යුතු බව පැහැදිලිව කිය යුතුයි.
48 hours after the attack on our studio complex in Depanama, the editor of the Sunday Leader and our dear friend Lasantha Wickrematunge was murdered in broad daylight. It's been 10 years since the attack on the MTV MBC station and Lasantha's murder. 10 years of waiting for answers. 10 years of waiting for justice. While those who were behind these crimes may think they can get away, they must be reminded that one can never hide the truth and justice. It is only a matter of time.
Of course, the truth has a habit of raising its head eventually. And since we are here forever and a day, and gentlemen are never in a hurry, we'll wait and hope that one day the truth will come out. This morning, we're here with the new governor of the Central Province, newly appointed as well as President's Council, Mr. Maithri Gunaratne. Mr. Maithri Gunaratne, thank you very much. And you know, I'm so delighted to be able to welcome you as governor.
Thank you very much,
NEWSLINE.
Thank you very much.
Of course, the timing could have been better. And we are joining, you've joined us on a day, yesterday was 10 years on that dastardly attack on our main control room in Department. And of course, tomorrow is also the 10th death anniversary of our dear friend, Lasantha Wickrematunge. To me, my hero in journalism. And a sad day tomorrow. Sad day for us as well, because, and the Prime Minister, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, got it absolutely right. I don't always agree that he gets everything right, but that day, 10 years ago, he got it absolutely right when he said that we cannot put out the Sirasa flame. We cannot put out the flame. And that's true. We're like an eternal light, and we're here for and on behalf of the people. And long may that ethos carry on. And as long as we have this chairman and this board of directors, I doubt if that's ever going to change. So we've got that on our side. But Maithri Gunaratne, I wanted to say to you, 10 years for such an attack on a national, virtually a national institution, much loved by hundreds of thousands of people right around the country. No investigation, nothing has come out of this thing. So on the same lines, what about the bond? Yesterday we had Mr. Charlie Mahendran, a former ambassador. I think he served in Washington as well.
China, Washington.
China. And was it Japan as well? I'm not
Moscow.
sure. Moscow. Now, the point I'm trying to say is a seasoned diplomat. And whatever respect he seemed to have gathered over his 50+ years of service, I think went out the window yesterday with the terribly one-sided article that he's written. In defense, of course, of his son.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen to this bond scam? And is this the first step?
Faraz, may I first start with the station and Lasantha's attack?
Yes.
There is a saying in Sinhalese, "Pala thiyena rukatai gal gahanne."
Yeah.
That is, the tree that bears fruit is the one which gets pelted with stones.
Yeah.
That is to say that whoever does something constructive is the one which gets attacked. So the best form of knowing that you have done something constructive or you are doing something which hurts those in office is being attacked. So I feel 10 years ago this thing happened, and it was a shame for the media, for the government, and shame for democracy. But not too far ago, there were people who came and lit crackers. I saw it right in front of the gate at the Maharaja headquarters. Now, even those people who were very clearly identified have not still been prosecuted.
Yes.
So the sad thing is for us, if there is no prosecution forthcoming, it is the highest of the land who are involved in that process. It is for that reason that there is no prosecution which is coming forward. You take the attack of your station 10 years ago, you take the attack of Mr. Lasantha Wickrematunge 10 years ago, you take the attack on the cracker attack on Sirasa maybe 1 year ago, right? None of these have seen a proper investigation coming forward. So therefore, the police and the governments that were in power are clearly to be blamed for having shelved or swept these investigations under the carpet. And coming to the second question, with regard to Mr. Charlie Mahendran. Now, I have known Mr. Charlie Mahendran for some time. He is a very respected public servant and is a decent man. But I have had the opportunity of reading his article about his son. I mean, there is etiquette, or it is not proper for someone to speak on behalf of your son,
Yeah.
because there is going to be a natural bias on behalf of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his unblemished career, I mean, I would say Mr. Charlie Mahendran had an unblemished career, not his son. He's also been shattered by his writing this article after his 50-odd years of service. Because for us, I mean, he is not giving any heed to the determination of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And he feels that the Pitipana committee has exonerated him. I mean, if that is his level of understanding of the affairs of state and how judicial proceedings work, I mean, it's a sad situation.
A viewer is pointing out that during the attack on our station 10 years ago, that there was an army post not too far away as well.
Yeah, so precisely. So it only supports.
And the same with Lasantha Wickrematunge.
Yeah, it only Lasantha Wickrematunge was on in a high security zone.
Yeah.
Right. So it only supports my argument.
Yes.
Right. That the powers at that time, it can be blue, it can be green, it can be red. Right. It is in their know-how that these have happened. And for us, there is evidence with regard to Lasantha's killing, but it is stuck somewhere. It is stuck somewhere.
But everything, Maithri, Gunaratne, is stuck somewhere.
That's the unfortunate thing. So when are we going to get this? 10 years is a very, very long time for us.
Absolutely.
It's a very long time.
It is a long time.
Yeah. So it's a sad indictment.
But I'll tell you, I want to say this, and I say this almost tongue-in-cheek. But I think they picked the wrong channel to mess with. Because, I'll tell you why. Because what they don't realize, and not a lot of people realize, and I'm going to say it, some people in Inner Flower Road might want to switch it off, but let me say this. They picked the wrong station to mess with, because in 1983, the Maharaja organization, 6 factories were completely burnt to cinders, reduced to ashes. They're messing about with a person, our chairman, rebuilt this company with his trusted aides, loyal staff. They didn't look at what background he was from or anything of the sort. They took a decision within, I think, a fortnight of the attack to rebuild. So they rebuilt this. It's bigger and better, meaner and leaner, as they call it, than ever before. Yeah. And then they pick this same station to mess with. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. No, for us, I mean, the background or where anyone comes from in a country like this should not matter. I mean, if that was what you're
yes, of course, that's what I'm saying.
Whether you're Sinhalese, Muslim, Tamil, or Burg or whatever, I feel should not be an issue, right? And
I think there should be a law. I saw an advertisement. In fact, I'm going to consult you about it later on when we get off air. I saw an advertisement in which a property was advertised and it said only to this community. And I take issue with that.
Yeah.
Because that's
discrimination.
Open discrimination.
Open discrimination. Open discrimination.
You know, that shouldn't be the case.
So that kind of discrimination in any part should be fought 100%. And actually for us, you know, since you brought this subject up, this discrimination, I of course feel that in every province or in every district, we should have a court, an informal proceeding, where if any discrimination or anyone is discriminated on any grounds, on religion, caste, creed, whatever, sexual discrimination, all that, should be able to address their grievances, because the court process is taking a long time.
Yeah,
right?
It does.
And
it takes a very long time.
And we can surely engage some retired judicial officers in handling this court of discrimination in each province. So since you brought this up, it should happen, and I know that your chairman, he's one person who is, who doesn't care who you are, whether you are Sinhalese, Tamil, Muslim. He's one person who has absolutely no favoritism with regard to who you are and what you are, and no pulling strings or pulling for two sides. He has, one thing is, I respect and regard him because he has been a fearless person, and the more you hit him like a rubber or like a tire, he springs back. So that is the courage any media organization should have, and that is a good model to follow.
I want to get back to, thank you, Maithri Gunaratne, and a member of our crew of Team News First is reminding me that I didn't formally say to you the many congratulations on your appointment as governor on behalf of the chairman and the board and of everybody at Team News First. I'm sure I said it, but
no, thank you, Faraz.
We're very proud to be able to have you as our guest, and that you've actually accepted.
No, definitely. Actually, Faraz, I have come a long way since 2010, and Newsfirst has been extremely helpful and supportive. So I'm greatly appreciative of that fact, and because, as you know, when you're fighting a government, you don't have much media, and for our good luck, Sirasa seems to be always
well, the Sirasa ethos, the Maharaja ethos is one of being outspoken.
Outspoken. So we were able to get into that bus and go forward.
Yes.
So as a result of that, I'm also very thankful to your organization.
I think we lose as many friends as we gain. But what can we do? This is what we do.
Right. So your organization has been a vehicle which we travel to bring all this injustice to society, and that is maybe one of the reasons why I have been given these positions, because whatever said and done, even during his tenure, or President Sirisena's tenure, I have been critical of him, but being a Democrat, I think he's quite a Democrat. I've been very critical on this show. I have been critical of him, but still he is a person who has had the courage to take a decision
and the courage to be different. That's what Team News First is all about. Let's go for a short break. Don't go away. After all, this is Newsline.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.
And welcome back to Newsline. We're in conversation with Mr. Maithri Gunaratne, PC and Governor of Central Province. Now then, we seem to have gone everywhere, but look, I want to ask you, because it's important to address what Charlie Mahendran has said. He complains and complains, but what did you think about it when you read that letter? Because
first thing which came into my mind, that he, being a senior public servant, a respected person, should have never written on behalf of his son, because for us, it is a basically open and shut case of Arjuna Mahendran's conduct. This is not the first time. When he was the chairman of BOI, there was series of allegations against him, and there he decamped, and we never saw him come back. And thereafter, the first time he came back was as governor of the central bank under the new government in 2015, and Mr. Charlie Mahendran says that the coalition government was a worry to him. The coalition government was a worry to him, and so therefore he was very cautious. But what I'm saying is, for us, why the coalition government went this way was clearly because people like Arjuna Mahendran took the law to their own hands, came into the central bank, started passing sensitive information to his son-in-law. So that kind of thing, really brought a huge strain on this coalition government. So now he can't complain with regard to the coalition government, because Arjuna Mahendran was one of the first people who put this government the coalition government into this situation.
And he got the job because of the coalition government.
Definitely.
Now, I want to quote directly from the Presidential Commission of Inquiry, the bond report, the so-called bond report. This is what the commission, the commissioners, remember that 2 of the 3 were serving, they're still there, serving Supreme Court judges. Let's look at this card. This is what it says from that report about Arjuna Mahendran. We are of the considered opinion that Mr. Mahendran is liable and responsible for the loss, and so on. This is the exact card this is a card made from the report of the Presidential Commission. We are of the considered opinion that Mr. Mahendran is liable and responsible for this loss, and that this loss should be recovered from Mr. Mahendran. This is the initial avoidable loss of 688,762,100. Right? And it says that this is as a direct result of Mr. Mahendran's intervention in the Treasury bond auction held on the 27th of February 2015.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you, has Charlie Mahendran done a complete Charlie? Can he not read this, or has he not read this? This is available online.
No. He has chosen to forget the report given by 2 Supreme Court judges and a person from the Auditor General's Department.
That's right.
He has chosen to ignore that, and he's hanging on this Pitipana report, which was 3 UNP lawyers.
And come on, none of them had
any credentials,
and they didn't know anything about the central bank,
and they didn't have this kind of information to decide upon.
Exactly.
Because in the bond commission, it was the Attorney General who led the evidence, and they were able to get the CID to investigate and bring all this evidence out.
Absolutely.
So there was very much credibility in that whole affair.
I want you to, let's play the other card, and in here it will show us, and it's all online, available for everyone to read. This is not some magic secret document that Sirasa has kept under the table. All right, this is all, every document we use in anyway. If we blow that up so that we can see what it says, this is what the Bond Commission report says about perpetual treasuries. They tell us exactly. We have also earlier in the report determined that Mr. Mahendran directed that rupees 10,058 billion be accepted for the improper, wrongful and mala fide collateral purpose of enabling Perpetual Treasuries Limited to obtain a high value of treasury bonds at that auction at low bid prices and high yield rates, and that Mr. Mahendran provided inside information, price-sensitive information to Perpetual Treasuries Limited, which Perpetual Treasuries Limited used to its benefit at the Treasury bond auction held on the 27th of February. The losses to the EPF, Maithri Gunaratne, was in excess of 8,517 million rupees, 8.5 billion rupees. They are liable upon summary conviction at a magisterial trial to pay twice that amount.
So this is the report which Mr. Charlie Mahendran has completely swept under the carpet, and he has chosen to ignore, and he's defending his son. That is why it is sad for us.
But Mr. Arjuna Mahendran told Cope that he was only following the instructions of the Prime Minister.
Yeah, that's right, but the sad thing is still nothing has come out of that.
It is the Prime Minister who said that don't worry, he's gone for a wedding, he'll be back. And of course, at that particular time, he did come back. But my thing is that why isn't anyone going after this? This is it's like a personal debt, 688 million.
Yeah, on one
why
side
why can't they take action now and go and serve that as a personal debt to Mr. Mahendran, who is supposedly living in Singapore?
For us, I think His Excellency the President is going to Singapore
Right.
in this month.
Oh, I see.
And I think he will definitely take this matter up there.
I hope so.
Yeah, he will.
I hope so,
take
because
this matter up there.
it's ridiculous that nobody is doing anything
And
about it.
at least good that we brought it. You brought it up in this program.
Yeah.
At least we, as responsible people, we can urge the president to make a request.
At least the 688 million.
No, not only that this fugitive be brought back to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Because he needs to come and go through the process
Yeah.
of this case.
Yeah.
So therefore, he needs to come, and various assurances were given by very important people that he will return and face the trial. So all that needs to be gone into, and we need his presence in Sri Lanka
Yes.
to finalize this whole transaction and see whether we can get these monies recovered.
Indeed. We've got 5 minutes of extra time today. Thank you very much. Why did Charlie Mahendran use so much of Latin in his article? Maybe to impress Ranil. What do you think of Ranil's efforts to stifle investigations into the bond scam? This is from a member of the public.
No, the point is, for us, he, as the Prime Minister, he would have want to cover his tracks and stifle the investigation. But I think the President also has equal amount of power to push it forward. And in fairness to him, the Bond Commission was appointed,
Yeah.
and we have a prima facie case.
Yeah.
We have a prima facie case, but now having got that decision or the findings, the process thereafter seems to be very slow.
And it's so slow that they are ignoring the second bond.
Bonds, no, they have forgotten about.
They've forgotten. It's 7 times greater than the first one.
First one. So, what needs to be done now is to investigate the wrongdoings in the first Bond Commission, and the second thing is to start the second commission itself on the larger part of the fraud which was perpetrated.
But poor Dr. Indrajit Kumar Swamy, I feel sorry for him, because clearly, no matter what he says, there are hands that are holding him back. There are chains that are shackling him,
Oh, definitely.
putting him down.
Definitely.
Because now it's taken 12 months plus a few more days. It's around 370 days now. There's no forensic audit
Precisely.
completed. Now they say it'll take about another 12 months. Well, in the meantime, Dr. Kumar Swamy would be happily retired.
Yeah.
We'll have a new governor and an altogether, you heard it on Newsline, and I'm saying it here, there'll be a new governor and a new excuse. And that's why it's so important that we keep this matter going forward
And live.
and keeping it live. Obviously, unfortunately, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy has become a politician. He's playing politics, economist and good one that he is. Sorry to say, Doctor, but that's what you're doing. And that's how we feel. Because it doesn't take 12 months to deliver that. And, you know, we've got nothing against them looking at the past. But we are told that they're going back all the way to A.S. Jayawardene's time, 1996.
It's futile.
It's completely futile, because we've got, haven't they heard about this thing? What is it? A bird in the bush, a hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Yeah. And justice delayed is justice denied.
Justice delayed is justice denied. What is going on, Maithri Gunaratne?
It's just that there is a serious attempt to protect those in power.
And if we look at that last card now, you'll understand, the people will understand that this is not just Sirasa making things up, and this is nothing to do with being anti anything or anybody. This is plain and simple fact for and on behalf of the people of this country. Look at that card here. It says here, we are of the view that the quantum of the sum to which perpetual treasury is limited gained or benefited from inside information and market manipulation can be reasonably estimated at rupees 8,529,964,495. We consider that the monetary gain referred to in section 56A would be 8,529,964,495 and 61 cents. We are of the view that the Attorney General or other appropriate authorities should consider instituting proceedings against Perpetual Treasuries Limited, and that upon summary conviction, Perpetual Treasuries could be held liable to a fine equivalent to twice the value of that sum, 8.5 billion, which means a little over 17 billion, 17,000 million rupees in fines. And there's more to come because there's no investigation on the second one.
That's right.
My question is, what is Charlie Mahendran trying to do? Does he think the people are dumb?
I think that's why he has written a lot of Latin, maybe because he may feel that the people will not understand what he has written. And the other thing is, for us, he has quoted the Buddha, Appamado Amatapadang, that is, mindfulness is the way to Nibbana. I think he will have to rethink his whole strategy with regard to mindfulness. Well, because he has been totally ignoring, and he has been unmindful of what has happened, and he has ignored certain salient features of the bond report. So there is no way to Nibbana being mindful the way he has been.
And I want to point this out to you, to everyone actually, that there is absolutely no way that Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy can be considered professional if this is how he is behaving. And if you noticed the news over the last couple of days, it says that the President wants professional people to be at various state institutions.
That's right.
I believe that's a great idea.
Very good.
The excellent idea. And I don't know why Lakshman Kiriyalla and others are getting all upset with the President. Because the President is trying to instill some professionalism. So good luck to him and let him carry on with it. No, don't oppose it. Otherwise we'll end up with another governor who's going to act like Indrajit Kumaraswamy.
For us, there are 400 odd private government organizations, that is private companies, 400 odd. Out of the 400 odd companies, there is 400 which are running at a total loss. Why are they running at a loss? Because consecutive governments have appointed political stooges into these places who are making money and not doing any work, filling them with people for employment. So as a result of that, they are overburdened with staff. The treasury has to fund them, and therefore these organizations are now crawling. There is no money. It is better to privatize them. But this decision of putting in professionally qualified people to these places will do a hell of a lot of good, because today the treasury is funding them, and if this can be turned around, which I strongly believe, all these loss-making government organizations within 6 months can be turned around if professionally qualified people are appointed.
Governor Maithri Gunaratne, PC, thank you very much for being on Newsline. It's been a treat. And from the Maharaja organization, thank you and many congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
And that's the way it was on Newsline. Sorry about the extended business, but we did have to deal with the right Charlie. And I believe we've done that. And if anyone wants to read the full bond report, it's available online. Or you can contact us and we'll point you to wherever it is. Remember, 0772 300 305. Send it all to us and we'll respond to you. Take care, have a wonderful week ahead, and God bless.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.